Hey everybody, this is American Nana. I am watching the Karen Read trial. My family has absolutely no interest in it, which I'm baffled by. I do plan, however, one day to put, sad to say, Trooper Paul. I can't call him Mr. because he's young enough to be my grandson. Anyway, he was on the stand as Trooper Paul. He was on the stand as an expert, okay? I have a lot of things that I want to comment on, and that'll come down the road because that actually will take a little bit more time. However, what I did want to bring up is I want to know, Lally, where's the photo of the car before anyone in Canton, Mass was able to put their hands on it? See, if that story were true, and there was a busted out taillight, I think everybody would have pulled out their camera to take a picture. I don't think I would have allowed the person to leave the scene, but apparently you needed a few hours to determine your investigation outcome. I mean, wow, you put so much time and effort into this investigation. You really did. It's like, what? Did you expect Karen Read to only be able to afford a public defender? What if that's all she could have afforded? Well, let's just say, if all she could have afforded is a public defender, she would have taken a plea deal and gone to prison because she knew she was framed. She knew she didn't do it, and she would take just the lowest thing you could give her, because stacked against her is your planted evidence. I mean, you expect us to believe that it just presented itself to you. Hey, I'm a taillight. I'm ready for you to come find me today. Hey, over here, I'm a taillight. Really? Went by 34 Fairview looking for any evidence that may present itself. I mean, no. So I want to know, where is the photo of the car, the photo of the taillight, all busted to hell, before you crooks got a hold of it? Did any of you people have integrity prior to going into the law enforcement? Are any of you struggling just a little bit with trying to make a trial based on evidence that you planted, and you're trying to get people to fit the evidence into this little bitty package that says Karen Read did it? Because your evidence, I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for your evidence, and we're what, 25, 26 days into trial? You've proven me nothing. I do realize that quite a few people in that circle anyway tend to do a lot of butt dialing, and I'm really sorry for the wife of Brian Albert, whatever your name is, that you have to compete with a phone in your bed, and that you also have to take chances of your husband's butt calling his buddy while you're having the whoopee that you're whoopieing about, you know? I mean, I think the only reason Brian Albert came up with that stupid explanation is because he probably thought, well, because it's so outlandish, people would just assume it was the truth. Quite the contrary. Quite the contrary. You see, you could resolve everything. Or, I'm not going to even say everything. 90% of your issues, folks, would have been resolved with a photo taken of her taillight prior to any of you criminally crooked law enforcement people touched it. But there is no photo. Your entire police force, been on for years and years, didn't know how to process a crime. Quite frankly, I could have done a better job than that. I could have directed my grandchildren to do a better job than that. But hey, Canton, cover up your crime. That's what I see on national, worldwide coverage. I read an article that the governor is very upset regarding Proctor. Yeah, I'd be appalled how he's even employed still in any form of law enforcement, any public servant. He needs to be removed. You people, you did take an oath to be a police officer. So, what I've seen is not one of you police officers that has testified has any integrity. Because you're all trying to jump through hoops and cover up a crime. Was it an accident? I don't know. Was it? I'm sure that Officer O'Keefe's family would like to know what happened. Was it an accident? Would somebody did something so wrong that allowing this man to lose his life, freezing and alone? I would side-eye every last one of you anytime I came next to you. Anytime I saw you, I would probably make a beeline just so I could just glare at you. Just hoping that you somewhere in there knew that I was glaring at you because I thought you were an accomplice to murder. Because that's what y'all are. Y'all are accomplices. The other thing is, you put Trooper Paul up there as an absolute buffoon. And I could feel sorry for him because I could think, well, he's the stupidest one that you could get, but you didn't get him because he was stupid. You got him because he was the only one willing to go down the road you wanted, to give you the testimony you wanted. You see, he watched court TV. Yeah, he wanted some notoriety. He wanted his 3 minutes of fame. Is that not what y'all saw? And how in the hell is he considered, excuse me, spit at you, an expert? I'm waiting for any thought to come through my mind that would say how he considers himself an expert. How did the courts allow him to get up there and say the things he said? But you know what's funny? It's not just that. It's not just that. It's the stupidity, the amount of stupidity that came out of his mouth. He made absolutely no sense. And when you combine Paul, Trooper Paul, I don't want to say just Paul because I know some Pauls and I like them. So I don't want to just say that. So Trooper Paul, he in arguing, and that's what he did. He argued with the defense attorney. In all his arguing and trying to answer his question, I think he kept forgetting about the back of the head injury, because when he explained that Officer John O'Keefe somehow was hit in this portion by the right rear tail light, and it hit him with such force that it busted out the tail light. Okay, all right. Where was the rest of his body? I mean, was he I'm not real sure. But then again, we're going to add gymnastics. We're going to contour ourselves into manners that you've never thought you could do. We're going to twist, we're going to turn, we're going to fly through the air. But wait, wait, the head injury. You said he hit his head on the curb. You said he hit his head on the curb. So if he hit his head on the curb, he never dropped said glass from his hand. Somehow gets up and does gymnastic maneuvers that you see on TV that look so unrealistic. I mean, he had to have done a few flips, a few side things. I mean, are you kidding me? Then he flies through the air, lands on his back. Somehow the cell phone flew out, landed under his back. The cup, the glass that was in his hand, I'm assuming it must have just smashed, cut a gash in his head. Part of it disintegrated because you didn't find it, and the other part was near the body. And the crime scene, it speaks to Paul? No. What is scientific information in the case, in the findings? And his question was, what do you mean? He had so many questions, and he was so confused. And once again, let me say that since he claims the taillight was obliterated at that point, so that all these pieces could fly everywhere, get buried under the snow, and present themselves when they were ready. So I guess they had to have a meeting, all these little pieces, and they got together. And if you can imagine being in Canton, they're going to talk like the guys in Canton. They're going to try to figure it out. And it's like, no, I don't want to be seen yet. Do you want to be seen? No, I don't want to be seen. Okay, so let's draw straws. Who gets to be seen first? And then the other pieces, they had to kind of run away and hide a little deeper because they weren't quite ready to be found yet. Does that sound pretty stupid? Sounds stupid to me too. But it could all be resolved. If anybody would have bothered to take a picture of the obliterated taillight, it's just poof. And nobody did. Nobody did. I have thoughts on the dog too.